Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Generations podcast with Dr. Colito. And I'm joined with Josie McRoberts today. We are going through some awesome articles that have been written specifically by our very own Josie, one of our fellows here. And we are super excited today to be talking specifically about environmental study majors, the wave of the future, the article that was published not too long ago. So, Josie, why don't you tell me a little bit about this article, what brought you to writing it?
Well, I go to Tulane University in New Orleans, and New Orleans is definitely a center where environmental issues have a lot of impact. And so my college created an environmental studies major, which is super interesting. And I've just kind of been interested in learning more about it, which brought me to writing this.
So tell me, what is an environmental studies major? Like, who are the type of people who go into this field?
Environmental studies majors are people that are really interested in saving the planet and are interested in combating global warming, pollution, all sorts of real world problems that also are interested in science and all sorts of like humanity issues.
So now we want people to go out and read your article because it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and put the website up here for those who are watching this live video cast. It's euc2experience.org/blog, and you will find all of the awesome articles there. But tell us, let's talk about like through some of the key points. So what is one thing that is super important for individuals going into this as far as what their takeaway is? And we're going to put some of these up on the screen as well.
Well, one is definitely that environmental studies requires problem-solving skills, and it's really interesting because the problems that you're working with are real-world issues that have a large impact on our whole society. And some of those issues that environmental studies majors focus on are global warming, sustainable energy, pollution, and rising sea levels.
And I think there's also not only the core issue this itself, but also how to deal with it, correct? Like what are the actionable items that could come out of it?
Yeah, like the different methods of combating these issues and different ways that we can make change.
So there's also knowing that really that there is not only a growing need for this, but what are the different industries that this spans through? Because can't you really apply this to almost any industry?
Yes, and that's what's really awesome about the environmental studies major is that the future of the marketplace and the workplace will have a lot of space for these jobs. Every different sector of the workplace will virtually be incorporating environmental studies into the future, whether it be product development or technology, anything.
And there's also, so if we talk a little bit about career paths, because that kind of leads into that, what are some of the careers that individuals would go into in receiving an environmental studies degree?
Some great career options are like being an environmental lawyer, an environmental engineer, an environmental educator, or a sustainability specialist.
So that's pretty cool. So when I think about like all the different things globally, I mean, talking about climate change could be like a whole nother thing that we get into, but we're gonna save that for another day. But I have watched actually several documentaries, been very interesting to see what has happened as a result of COVID on our environment and how quickly the earth has healed itself. So it's going to be really interesting to see individuals who recognize that and despite the tragedy and the huge loss of life as a result of COVID, but to see what the earth had did to itself. And not only like we think about like air pollution and whatnot, but also wildlife. Like there have been some remarkable things happening in wildlife. So an environmental studies major, someone who is interested in this and see the things for COVID, they possibly could have a really profound effect on the future generations, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So what do you see, just in your opinion and from what you kind of explored throughout this article that you wrote is probably the most exciting about environmental majors or people getting a major in environmental studies?
I think it's really exciting that there's so many different things that you can do with an environmental studies major. I just think it's really exciting how much this area of study has grown across the country and across the world. And I just think it's really exciting to be on the forefront of that change.
That's awesome. If you had to leave our listeners with any one tidbit regarding possibly seeking this degree, what would you say to them?
I would say go for it. And I would say to use your creativity.
Awesome. Well, we just want to thank everyone for tuning in to this short broadcast from Inspiring Generations with Dr. Colito, joined by Josie McRoberts on environmental study majors. Again, we encourage everyone to go out to our blog, euc2experience.org/blog, and check out this article yourself. And with that, we wish you all a happy and healthy day. Take care.